Today we are here with Rachel Canale. You are a photographer, correct?
I am.
Yeah, and you specify in studio and models. Is that right?
Yep.
You do weddings too?
Yes, I do a bit of everything.
Could you tell me a bit about your journey with photography? Like, we actually went to the
start.
Yeah, like we actually went to the same school.
Yes,
Yeah.
we did. We didn't know each other back then.
We did not.
No. Where do I start? I started my business when I was 16. That's when I registered everything. Started with just creating an Instagram and getting my friends to take photos. They weren't models, but I would just convince them, and they hated me for it, but I needed to practice somehow. Even before that, I was practicing with my animals because I grew up on a farm. So I was doing a lot of photo shoots of my chickens and just landscapes and stuff like that. So that's where it began. And then in school, I joined some Facebook groups to try to build some connections and do more test shoots and just kind of just get more and more experience. And yeah, that's how it's kind of progressed. That's the short version, or do you want me to go into more detail?
I'm actually impressed currently that you did it so young.
No, the chickens. I got photos.
Was it hard to photograph chickens?
No, they loved me, so it was all good.
Okay, that's nice. But yeah, when you were at school, did you ever study media or photography?
No. I thought if I studied it, then I would hate it because then they'd be telling me what to do. I did art class, but that was more painting and everything. And I tried to push it in the direction of photography, and they told me I wasn't allowed to. I would bring my photos in. They're like, no, if you want to do that, you have to go do a media class. You're not allowed to bring that into this class. So I'm like, okay, I'll just do it in my own time then. And then I didn't want to go do the media class because then they'd make you do photos of leaves and stuff. And I'm like, I don't want to do that. I want to do models and magazine covers. So, yeah.
So what's the long story?
The long story.
Don't know where to start.
Yeah, where do I start? So, yeah, growing up on the farm, my cousin, she went to an art school, and she's the one who got me into photo shoots kind of thing. So she would use me as a model when I was maybe 10 or something, and she would just dress me up, would do photos around the farm, and it was my favorite thing to do. I loved doing it. So that gave me a little taste of what it was like, but on the other side of the camera. And then so that kind of gave me an idea that I might want to go in that direction, but I didn't think there was any money in photography, so I was like, I'm not going to do that. That's a hobby. That's not a job.
You were thinking that at 16?
Yeah, before 16.
Wow.
Because 16 is when I started my business, so this is before that.
Wow.
Yeah. I've my family are very business minded, so I've always just been thinking of that.
That's amazing.
That's awesome.
That's just how my brain's wired. And then what did I do? I did work experience at a graphic design place with school. And a lot of people went to vets and stuff because they wanted to play with animals, but I was I want to really use this opportunity to try to figure out what I want to do, because I'm a really organized person. If I don't get out of school and know what I want to do, I'll be freaking out. So I need to figure it out now. So I went there and I hated it because I was just sitting at a desk all day, just doing graphic design stuff on the computer. And I'm used to, because I grew up on a farm, we have 80 acres, used to lots of space, fresh air. And I went home crying one day. I was like, I can't do it. I can't sit in an office all day. But they did photography as well there. And I never saw them do it, but I just asked a few questions. I was like, oh, how much do you charge for that? And I think he said $150 an hour. And at the time, because I was just working on the farm and stuff, not good money at all. I was like, $150 an hour, that's a lot of money. And I was like, okay, maybe I will get into photography. And then, so that was a pivotal point. And then also I actually got a model portfolio done of myself when I was 16 as well. But I loved the whole experience and the photos more than going to be a model. After that, I was like, I don't want to do that. But I really loved seeing how we got the photos and just seeing them come to life. I was like, oh my God, I want to make other people feel like that. So that was also a big, point in my career. And then from there, it was kind of I just knew, that's what I wanted to do. And so I remember the night I made an Instagram with my cousin. She's like, oh, what do you want to name it? And we were trying to think of all these cool names. And I was like, I just want to do my name. So I just did Rachel Canale Photography, which is so long now, but I'm it's been that long, I'm not going to change it. And then from then it was just a lot of testing, just planning shoots with friends or finding people on Facebook, and then slowly just working my way up in the industry.
So did you really start to grow after you left school?
I'd say like, yeah, that's where I grew because I had a lot more time on my hands. Because in school, like, even though I knew I didn't want to like go off and do like a big uni course or anything, I was just such a perfectionist. I was like, I need to like be putting in the hours, get a good ATAR, even though like I didn't even need an ATAR. But I was like, I just feel like I failed if I didn't try to do it because it was like this big, expectations around it. So yeah.
So is this the only thing you've ever done? Like, did you have a part-time job?
So I worked on my farm since I could remember, since I was walking. And then I did do like Sundays at a cafe from like year 10 to 12. But then I think that's all I've done. But then like after year 12, they didn't fire me, but they just like, they convinced me to quit because I kept asking for days off, even though I only worked a Sunday. Because if I was doing stuff, because I went and did a 1-year diploma at uni. So I was like doing that during the week. Photo imaging at Swinburne. So that was just 1 year. But because then I only had my weekends to do photo shoots, then I would always ask, can I have the Sunday off? Can I have the Sunday off? And they're like, oh, Rachel, we can't keep covering you. Like, we love having you here. I'm like, that's so fine. Like, I understand. And that was like the push I needed because I wasn't going to quit. Like, I don't quit things. But once they said it, I was like, yeah, that's right. Like, time to go to the next chapter.
That's awesome.
So I haven't really had another job. So, like, I've never, like, filled out a resume or, like, anything. Like, it was just, like, a farm. And even the cafe, that was a work experience thing through school. So I worked there for like a week and then they liked me, so they hired me. And then I started my own business. And
so at what point did you really start working with models? Like actual models, not just like people and friends, but like...
Yeah, well, I think my first like proper photo shoot might have been year 12. But even like when you look back then, I probably did like 2 photo shoots the whole year. And then like slowly it would like increase. So that was probably my first experience with a model, but I didn't like reach out to them or anything. Like the client organised them. And then definitely after year 12, like I started working with proper models.
And so you've worked with a few international models and you've travelled.
Yes.
Can you give us a bit of your backstory on that?
So I think my first travelling experience was... for photo shoots was the year after I did my diploma because like then I was still like studying and stuff, and then after that I was like going to the real world, let's do everything. So I did a influencer trip in Bali. That was my first one, which on Instagram would look amazing. Like we were in this giant mansion, looked incredible, but it was the most stressful thing I've ever done in my entire life. After I said I'm never doing this again.
What's an influencer trip?
So like how many was I think there was 4 maybe influencers, me, a makeup artist. We all went together, and then when we were there, we would like shoot for brands and would like pay for the whole trip and stuff kind of like. And then also like connecting, so we could all like post each other on socials, stuff like that. I saw other brands do it, and then I was like, no one's going to invite me on one, so I'm going to make my own one.
Oh, that's really
cool. Nice.
I organised it, and we had like these 2 giant mansions in Bali. Like I've never been to a place like it, but just the pressure because I think I was like 18 or something at the time. So just like organising everything, and you had to like rely on people, and people can be very flaky, like just in general, but especially I feel like in our industry as well. So it was 1 month before brands locked in everything, and then one of the models just started ghosting me. Like this was a paid trip, like she didn't have to pay for anything. She was going to Bali for 10 days and she just ghosted me out of nowhere. Yep. And I was like messaging, I was like, you could just tell me if you're not coming, let me know so I know to organise someone else. And I like, the anxiety, like I was crying. And then I was just like trying to have like a good mindset about it. I'm like, everything happens for a reason. I just need to find the reason. So
did she respond?
No, never responded to this
day. She literally just ghosted you.
Yeah, literally just ghosted me.
That's the one thing that absolutely shits me about this industry is that it is very flaky.
Yeah, I hate it.
Like even till now. You do get a lot of people, a lot of clients, they just ghost you. Whether it comes to payments or asking them for revisions on their edits or absolutely whatever. Like, I don't know why people are just...
So how do you deal with that kind of behaviour from like models as well as like clients?
Well, I'll just... the trust is gone. I'll never work with them again.
Yeah.
Like
that's
it's
the
true.
best way to put
I like it.
If they're not going to rock up or not reply to me, like how am I meant to recommend you to a client and then
100%.
it will look bad on me?
It becomes too hard to trust them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just kind of like just in my head, just mental note, don't recommend them. With clients, I have kind of like leverage where I won't give them the photos until I'm paid. So I don't have to worry about that. And if they're, you know, funny about it, it's like there's a contract, you have to pay me. I'm not going to give you anything until you do. And then like revisions, if they're just taking their time, then it's like, whatever. That's your problem.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's kind of like how I deal with the ghosting thing. But yeah, back to the Bali trip. I don't know, I said the girl ghosted me. Yes. Okay, so then I was like trying to find the whole, you know, good thing about this situation. And then I thought, here I am using money to pay Australian models to go to Bali, flights, accommodation, covering everything. I'm like, why don't I just get a Bali model that I don't have to pay for flights or accommodation because they live there, and then I'll just pay her hourly to come and join us, do the shoots, clients are happy, like problem solved. So I just started like searching up girls, and that's how I found Natalia.
Yes, that girl.
Yeah.
She's gorgeous.
Yeah, she is up there. That's how we met, and we're like really good friends to this day. And like I can say, like I'm glad that that happened now because she's one of my closest friends, and I never would have met her if it wasn't for that girl ghosting me.
Well, there you go. That
it
was
all
your reason.
works out. Yeah, I found my reason.
Nice.
And did you go to the Maldives as well?
Yes. So
Am I saying that right?
yeah, or Maldives. I don't know. I say Maldives, and everyone like hates on me on TikTok. They're like, it's the Maldives. I'm like, okay, whatever. So after I did the Bali trip and I said I would never do it again, I got home and I was like, that was actually really fun. So a month later, I messaged Natalia. I was like, do you want to go to the Maldives? And she was like, yeah. I was like, okay, cool. Let's plan another one. This time, just you and me. We don't need to have heaps of models. We don't need a makeup artist. Same thing, just less people. And so with the Bali on, we did pay for like the mansions and everything. Like brand money covered it, so it didn't come out of pocket. Like that whole trip, I think I covered like $10,000, but like none of it was out of pocket. Like I got it all covered.
That's so
at
good. That's
18
so
years
good.
old. I don't know how I did it. First one ever, but I did. And then
awesome.
after that with Natalia, because she was the biggest model I'd worked with at that point, I think. She had like, at the time she had, I think she just hit 100K. On Instagram, which was like really big. Now she's like over 300, I think. But at the time I was like, oh gosh, she's so big. And yeah, we like got together, and she's very like me. We're very business minded, like go-getters. And I was like, I know that we can like both get on this together. So yeah, we had the idea. We're like, we literally went from like 0 to 100. Let's go to the Maldives. And then I still remember the day where we were like trying to find a place to like, you know, cover the accommodation. And it's very expensive in the Maldives. And because she had a lot of followers, she was like just DMing a few of the resorts and was like, hey, I want to go to the Maldives these dates. Do you want to work together? And she messaged me and she was like, you're never going to believe what happened. There's a resort that wants to let us stay for free for a week in like the overwater
Wow, a
hut.
whole week. That would have
We
been
were like, what? And they covered our... not the international flights, but like the smaller flights that we had to get covered. Yeah. So they like covered those as well for us. So we just had to like get to, I think it was Mali, which is like the main point in Maldives. And then from there, they did like the small flight in the boat. And then our whole stay, food covered, like all, awesome. Like even like the jet skis, the boat, like even the activities, like once you get there, it's still very expensive. Like I think we paid like, once you work out like the conversion rate, it was like close to $100 for a pizza at one point. So
what?
It was so expensive.
It is a very like attractive place to visit, isn't it?
I feel like everyone needs to go once in their life, but like maybe like a honeymoon when you're like using some money. But yeah, so that's when I went to the Maldives, which was a very exciting trip.
What was the deal with the resort? Was that just like you had to give them images, or how did that operate?
So Natalia had to do a post every day on Instagram, and then I had to give them all the photos we took so that they could use them for like
still a great deal,
promotional stuff. And phenomenal. I brought a drone as well, so I did like drone content too. But it was like you could smash all that out in a day, you know, and then the rest of the time you just relax. And I've got good connections with that resort, so I've been back a second time as well and did the same thing.
Oh wow, that's awesome.
This is so cool.
So you got you literally have a free ticket to the Maldives now.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Like we went to dinner with like the owner of the resort, so we like got to know him really well. So then I wanted to go another time, and I went again.
Nice.
In all of this, in all the photos you've taken, in all the influencers and models you've worked with, right? You obviously realize that they really love your edits. So you decided to make an app.
I know where this is going.
Yeah, right? Tell me about your app.
So my app is called Pocket Studio. I created it in lockdown. It was a lockdown project. So I came back from another trip I did in Indonesia, and we got back the day, like borders closed and everything. That was a whole traumatic thing, another story. But then I had to do my 2 weeks quarantine, which is like when all of that just started. And I'm like a goody-goody. Everyone was telling me, you don't need to do it. But I literally stayed in my bedroom for 2 weeks and didn't leave. So in that time, I got very bored. And I was like, I need to start another thing. Because like, my flaw is that when I'm bored, I start new businesses. Like all my friends say it. So in that time, I was like, podcasts had like just started. So I was like, oh, do I want to start a podcast or do I want to start an app? And I like looked at both things, and then like the app kind of like, you know, I was more curious about. So I like looked into that more, and I had 2 weeks to look into it. And yes, that's where it started. And then it's quite expensive. Creating an app.
Like prototypes start at least minimum 10 grand. And then like, so some of them even like with games and everything is like 50,000.
Yeah.
Like it's crazy numbers.
It's more like it depends how complicated it is, but
Correct.
for an editing app, I was getting quotes. Multiple people told me minimum 200K for what I wanted to do.
Really?
Yep.
For a prototype or for the actual app?
For the actual app.
Yeah, for the actual app. Yeah, that makes sense.
And then
which is ridiculous.
Then you had to do updates and everything. Like this was a completely different industry. Like I had no idea what I was doing, but I was like, let's do it. Why not? Then we had like 2 years lockdown, so I had lots of time. So I like, you know, perfected all my filters. I really wanted to go in the direction of like tropical kind of vibes, like beach kind of tones, because I didn't really have any apps on my phone that did that. Even just like thinking of the filter names, the app name took me so long. I was like on the phone with my friend for so long. We're like brainstorming ideas, looking if the domain was there, looking if the Instagram was there. And then eventually, because I was like, oh, I like Pocket Studio because it's like, it's quick, it's in your pocket. And then Studio, you're like, you know, creating something. So that's how we came up with Pocket Studio.
That's a great name.
And then I found a graphic designer through my friend as well. And he like designed the icon. I don't remember like the exact details of it now, but it's kind of like, it was like the preset icon or something like mixed with something else. Like there's like a message behind it. Like normal people wouldn't know, but like I guess if you're like in the photography industry, you might. So yeah, did that. And then that's probably the hardest thing I've ever done, like creating an app, because it was just so like out of what I understand.
Yeah.
So many people said like, oh, like go on Fiverr or Upwork and like you can find people to do it overseas. So
would never trust that.
Yeah, well, I did that first. So
How did that go?
you're about to find out. So I went on Upwork and they're so eager at first. They're just like, oh yeah, we can do this, we can do that, contract, sign. And then as soon as you pay, they start ghosting you. Anyway, I was promised like, you know, the app, it would be finished in like, I think it was like 3 months or something, which is very quick. But like at the time I didn't know because I knew nothing about apps. Anyway, I think I paid them $10,000. No, I think it ended up being close to 12 with like taxes and whatever. So I paid 12,000 and lost 12,000 because the end result they gave me, like I couldn't even open it. Like it was so bad,
Really?
like it couldn't open. And like I tried calling, emailing Upwork and stuff, and they're just like, nothing we can do about it, sorry. So I will never use Upwork again. I'll just say that right here, right now.
I feel for you because we've had similar experiences, which is more my fault than anything else because everyone...
I did warn Liam. I said I don't like you going through that.
So when we made the Australian Models website, I was like, I don't care how much it is. I'm just like, I want someone to do it, yeah? Mm-hmm. And I think I used Airtasker.
Oh, no.
It was one of them.
It was one of those. And we ended up going through 3 web developers. And it took like a 4th one to actually get it right, which was just located here in Melbourne.
Don't say we went through 3 web developers. You went through 3 web developers when I told you not to.
They kept saying that they could do it, and I was like,
Yeah,
cool.
that's how they get you.
Yeah, and like they were doing it, and then like one guy was like actually doing it, and then like halfway through the website, he was just like, oh, this actually just doesn't align with my morals. And yeah, right. And I was like, they're not naked. I was like, there's men and women. It's not like just women or anything. I'm like, I don't like, you've been working on this for like a month. I was like, why is it only now that you've got a conflicting issue with this? And so I like, what could I do? I was just like, okay.
So did you lose all your money?
Yes. I lost
three times?
Yeah.
And we had like a half-built website.
This guy lost it. Do you remember when we launched the billboard?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it still wasn't done. And that's when I contacted someone in Melbourne. I was like, the website just needs to be up. I'm like, I don't care how much. Like, it was like a Saturday. It was like a Saturday because I think it was launching on the Monday. Yeah. And so he needed to
do it that quick.
Yeah. So he needed to fix all the bugs that was on it.
Okay.
So it was a properly built website. It was just, it was so buggy because there was 3 different developers.
He purchased all of the...
I purchased anything that needed to be purchased.
All of the servers or whatever needed to be purchased for the website. He pirated them.
Yeah, so yeah, that's what our web developer did. He didn't even use the money to buy them. He just pirated the version.
And pocketed all the extra money as profits.
Wow.
Yeah, so I feel you on that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, you should not just go to someone who's local that you can go hunt down if something goes wrong.
Yeah, well, that's what I did after that. So I kind of like came to a point where I was like, either I've lost my 10,000 or this can be a learning experience and I need to find the lesson. So I was like, no, I'm going to choose the lesson. We're still in lockdown. I've got nothing to do. Like, let's try again. So I wanted to find someone in Melbourne where I could rock up on their doorstep if I needed my money back. So I found someone in Melbourne and like had multiple phone calls with him. And yeah, we just like spoke about like everything I'd been through, and he like felt really bad for me, so he gave me a really good deal. And it was also their first time that they'd created an app like mine, so they were kind of learning as they went as well. So it took a lot longer than we expected, but at the price I was getting, it was good. And we still work together to this day, so they're great. So yeah, that's like how I started it, and then I launched it. It was still in like the middle of lockdowns. The launch night, they announced we were going into lockdown, and I was like, I don't care, I'm still going out for dinner. Like, I've done too much to not celebrate this. And me and my friend that helped me like brainstorm the name, I just wanted like something small. So just us two went out to dinner. Then that restaurant was a hotspot, so we had to quarantine.
Oh my
For 2 weeks after that, yeah. So we're like, everyone was in lockdown, but like my family, they were really scared of COVID. So they're like, you're not allowed to stay here. So I couldn't stay at home. So we're lucky we had an Airbnb next door to us. So they made me stay there by myself, pack a suitcase. And it ended up being great. I was like, guys, I have the whole house to myself, so whatever. Nice. So yeah, and then the app's been... maybe 2 years now, I think. Live, and it's been going good. I haven't given it the attention that it deserves because I just like to start new businesses. So once it was launched, I started another one. But it's really a goal that I want to start doing now. We're actually bringing out another app, a new update for the app soon with some new features, which I'm very excited about, and some new filters that I use like every day with my photo shoots. Because like people always ask me on my TikTok, like, what filter do you use for this one? So I'm putting all of them on there.
How do you monetize on the app?
It's a subscription based.
Oh, okay. And then you get access to everything.
Yep.
So you download it and then you have to subscribe straight away?
Yep. So free to download, but then you have to subscribe.
Is there different subscription rates, or is it just one?
We're changing it. So I'll just say what it's about to be. So there'll be a few free filters that you can play around with, see if you like the app. And then if you want to get access to everything, then it's a subscription. Monthly, it's $3.99, or yearly, I think we were doing $39.99. So it's like a bit of a discount.
That's really good. That's really good prices. That's awesome, actually.
Yeah.
It's cheaper than Lightroom.
Yeah.
Can you get that on your desktop as well? Is it just a mobile app?
I think it's just like mobile, iPad.
But you sell presets, correct? Or no? Not yet. You should. You definitely should. Why not?
I'll think about it.
You use like Salify or something? Selfie? Is that what it's called? I don't even know.
Well, the presets are inbuilt into the app, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you can get it on the app. Go get it there if you want it.
So, since the app, you went and got this studio that we're currently in.
Yes.
Yeah? Tell me about that. That was impressive. I remember when you got it, I was so proud of you, honestly. I was just like, no way. I was like, that is amazing.
How did this come about? This was like this time last year. So it's been, a year now. So yeah, it came about quite quickly. I move quick. I think I like decided I want a place, and then I only went to one inspection, this one. I rocked up, I walked in, I left, fell in love, and I called my dad. I was like, I want this one, like so bad, what do I do? So then I like filled out the application, everything. It's actually quite funny and like embarrassing to look back on now. But my dad, he can be a little bit annoying. So he said to me, he was like, don't act keen when you go in there. Pretend you don't want the place. So that way, you know.
You can negotiate.
Yeah, that's what he said to me. So I did that. I wasn't asking him any questions. I was just like, oh yeah, okay, cool. In my head, I'm like, I want it so bad. I walk out and I'm like, I want it so bad. And he's like, did you tell him that? I'm like, no, you told me to act cool. He's like, what are you talking about? You should have told them that you wanted it. Now they're not going to take you seriously. I'm like, what do you mean? You told me not to act like I wanted it. And then he was putting things in my head. He's like, oh, now they're not going to take you seriously. You look so young. They're going to think that you don't have the money to pay for it. And I'm like, oh my God. And I'm like freaking out. So when I was I was on a high, and then I was a low. Then I started crying. And then he's like, you have to call the real estate agent now and tell him how bad you want it. You have to tell him how much you make a year. You have to tell him that you're eager and that you're going to like be a really good tenant. So it's like, okay, yeah, I'm going to do that. So I called the guy and I was like, hi, my name... So bad now. I was like, hi, my name's Rachel. I just had the inspection. He's like, oh yeah, hi Rachel, how are you? I was like, good. I just want to let you know that like, I know that I look young, but I'm actually I'm like 25 years old and I make this much money, and like, you can trust me. I'm really eager about getting this place. And like, I just went on a rant, and he was like, Rachel, I'd never judge you for how young you look. Like, that's okay. And I was like, oh, okay. And he was like, I'll send you the application. You can apply now. I'm like, oh, okay, thanks. And then I just hung up and I was like, oh, why did I do that? But I was just listening to my dad. He told me to do it.
Do you get a lot of anxiety?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can tell.
You can feel it now.
Yeah, I can feel it.
Yeah. I've been working on that. I've been very good this year. But that's actually been like a goal of mine this year, to really like work on that. But yeah, so then I got my place. I had like a month before I could move in. Like, I found out and they're like, you get the keys in a month. Everything was like pretty good. Like, didn't really have to do much to it. This room's kind of like new, so I just put up the curtains and that's pretty much it. The other rooms, there was green carpet, which you can kind of see there on the step. That was throughout the whole place.
That's ugly.
And I was like, that's got to go.
Yeah.
So I ripped that up, and then I was like, we thought it would be concrete underneath, so I was like, I'll just polish it. But then it was floorboards, which I was like, perfect, that's what I want. So then we just like did like the sanding and...
Yeah, that does add a really nice touch.
Yeah, so just did that, and then I paid someone to paint the walls like just a fresh white. That's pretty much all I had to do to the place. Nice. And then the rest was just like buying furniture and stuff, which is a lot more expensive than I thought. But I was just like, it's my first studio, dream place. I'm going to spend what I have to spend. So yeah.
Oh, congrats, it's an awesome place.
Thanks.
Not as bad as our mistake when I made us get...
Another mistake. What'd you do?
When I made us get a studio, like 3 studios.
Yeah.
Prior to lockdown.
Oh no.
And then I was like, guess we shouldn't do this.
Oh, we couldn't really expect lockdown, so
no.
Yeah.
It wasn't really your fault.
Yeah, it was good though. It was good. Yeah. But look, what is your favorite features about your studio? What do you offer in your studio?
Well, I just have like my general packages, like studio package, or if people want to go to the beach, because we're not far from the beach as well. They're the 2 that I offer here, but then I also have my office set up, so if I want to do wedding meetings, 2 people can come, and I feel like, it looks impressive. I've got a studio. And then my favourite, I do love the name above my desk. I feel like that's pretty boss.
It is very cool.
I like that. And then also the afternoon light in this room is really nice. They're probably my 2 favourite things. Or even my arch mirror. I paid a lot of money for that.
So since
it is a big mirror.
Yeah, I got it custom done.
That was custom made? Wow.
Yep, for selfies.
Oh, really? That's it? You just got a huge mirror for selfies?
Well, even to like cover, there was like something behind her as well. The people that were here before, they had an arch mirror. I never would have thought of it. But then I was like, I want that. So then I went and got one done. Just some guy on Marketplace made it for me.
Nice.
So you've been in this studio for how long?
Coming up to 12 months.
Okay, so nearly a year, and you've worked with a lot of brands.
Mm-hmm.
What type of brands have you worked with?
Lots. So I've done Bali Body, it's a big one. Elite 11. We did some like Victoria's Secret stuff. Lash Therapy, they're a big client of mine. If you look on my website, I've got them all listed there. Who else have I done? I do like Melbourne Fashion Week each year, which is really cool.
Do you work with a lot of the modelling agencies as well, don't you?
Yeah, so I work a lot with
like their Digis
Brooklyn Management. I work with them a lot. We have a good relationship because I've been working with them since when I started. I feel like a lot of the bigger ones, they know they're bigger, so I don't like to work with them.
It's like, no.
Just from like I've had phone calls with them and they don't treat you like you're an equal. They kind of look down on you. I'm not going to say names, but yeah. That's why I'll
start
go with
naming them all.
That's why I'll go with other agencies.
You start to get that when the companies get bigger and bigger.
Yeah.
Like there's just too much hierarchy. So it makes sense.
And you've done some shoots for Miss Universe, yeah?
Yes.
Yeah.
Miss Universe Australia. How did I get into that?
Because I like how we are on so similar paths, but we're on the other end of the spectrums. It's like, it's cool though.
Yeah, I've done like Miss World Australia and Miss Universe Australia. So Miss World, my best friend was actually like one of like the big organisers in it. So she would like, help me get in.
Nice.
And then with Miss Universe Australia, I'm pretty sure it's when I met Maria Thattil. I met her at Fashion Week, so it wasn't even like through the event. She wasn't Miss Universe Australia then. I was just doing street fashion. I really liked her sequin dress, and I was like, can I take your photo? It was literally like 7 seconds. And I was like, I'll send you the photos after. And then, I sent her the photos. She loved them. She used them as the headshots and everything. And she was just like a genuinely really nice person. Like that was right before I did my quarantine for coming back from that trip when I made my app. And she, like, I didn't know her. We literally spoke for 7 seconds. And she was messaging me to see how I was going. She was like, are you okay? I know you're alone and stuff. And I was like, you don't know me. You're so nice. And then after that, we, like, built a friendship. We did a couple of shoots. And, again, this is before she became Miss Universe Australia. And I remember we had a photo shoot organised and she was like, I'll just have to let you know if I can still make it next week. Depends on the finals. And I was like, yeah, that's fine. I was thinking finals for some reason was like uni exams. I didn't know she was in Miss Universe. So I was just like, oh yeah, that's fine. Like, good luck with your exams. And then the next week it was all over my Instagram. Maria Thattil, Miss Universe Australia. I was like, I know her. What the hell? And then after that, because we still really liked working together, I did a lot of her headshots. Even when she was like going to compete overseas, we did like the Great Ocean Road, did photos like a road trip and stuff. And then even like this year, we all went to Bali for her 30th and I did photos there. So I've done lots of photos with her. So that's how I got into Miss Universe Australia.
That's awesome, though. That's so cool. Is that also how you met Jess?
No, I did a photo shoot with Jess a couple of years ago for an activewear brand and she was one of the models. That's how we met.
Oh, yeah. I actually just thought it was through Miss Universe. I had no idea. I was just like, I was asking how did we meet? She was like, I don't know. Yeah, all right. Okay. Okay, what else? What else was I going to ask? I had something else.
Look at your notes.
No, but like I just genuinely had questions about, I don't even know. Okay. With one of the brands that you worked with, they ended up getting you a billboard in New York. Tell me.
Yes, so that was with Lash Therapy. We did that photo shoot, I think it was like winter last year, and we did have the idea that it was going to be on a billboard when we were going into it. I remember like looking at the camera and we'd be like, oh yeah, that's the shot. But at the time, it was going to be something in Melbourne, so we were thinking maybe out the front of Chadstone or I don't know, something like that. And then it was like towards the end of the year, I was doing their Christmas shoot and they're like, oh, we've just been offered a spot on a billboard in New York. We're thinking of doing it. Would you want to come? And I was like, yes. Like I've never had a billboard before, let alone in New York. And then then I was kind of like getting my head, I was like, oh, is this a bit like silly just going all the way to New York? Like, I don't know. And I called my partner. I was like, oh, what should I do? He's like, are you serious? Like, it's not every day you get a billboard in New York. You have to go. And I was like,
yeah,
okay,
course.
cool. I was like, all right, okay. Yeah, you backed me up. I was like, okay, I guess I'm going home to book flights. And yeah, so we just organized that. It happened to be the same week as Fashion Week. So we went to a few of the events as well. And then there was a bit of chaos when we were there about the whole billboard, which you'd expect always something goes wrong, but you have to find the lesson. So we got there and we went, it was actually a week before we went, and the people who organised the billboard, they're like, oh, we've got this other billboard, we'll upgrade you for free. And they showed it to me. I was like, oh yeah, that looks really cool. And we're all like, yeah, cool, let's do it. And they didn't give us the address for it. So before the...
So what, you just roaming around New York trying to search for it?
They gave it to us when we were there, but like prior, they were just like, trust us, it's better. Our original one was above Sephora in Times Square. Really good spot, but it was a smaller billboard.
Yeah.
This one was a big one, like on a corner, kind of like a strip kind of thing. And we're like, yeah, cool, let's do it. And then we got there, it was like midnight in New York. We're like, okay, let's go find it. And we're like following on the maps. We're in Times Square and it still said it was 700 meters away. We're like, they said it was in Times Square and it would be better. So then we go around this corner and it's like full around this corner in the dark near like this bus stop, and we're just like, this is not the same vibe. We're like, we want photos in front of the other one. And then they were really disappointed and they're like, oh, we feel so bad for Rachel, she's come all this way. I was like, guys, no matter what happens, I'm still getting a billboard in New York. Don't worry about me. Like, worry about yourselves. Okay, if you've paid all this money for a billboard, you want to make sure that you get like something good out of it. And I was like, just tell them that you're not impressed. Like, they didn't give you the address, so surely you have some leverage there, and you're like a big client of theirs. They'll want to make you happy. So that was like going back and forth for like 3 days. It was the night before, and we still didn't know where the billboard was going to go, and it was going live the next day, so we were a bit nervous. And then we were at dinner in Times Square, and we're just like sitting there, and they got a text. They're like, oh, we can move you to this billboard again, no extra charge for like the issues. And they're like, okay, after dinner, we'll go check it before we say yes. We're just sitting there, and I'm like looking outside, eating my pasta. And I'm just like, is that the billboard right there? And then they're like, yeah, it is. Like, we could like see like the stuff around it was like lining up with the photo. So we like all run over to the window. We're all like staring at, and like the waitress is like, do you want to move to this table? We're like, no, we're just admiring the billboard. And we're like, we're just like screaming. We're like, oh my God, that's the billboard. Like, it was so big. You have no idea. And we're just like, surely like something's wrong. Like, this can't be true. We're like, okay, let's still not say yes. Let's eat our food. We couldn't eat after that. I didn't eat much. And then we're like, let's just go outside, make sure the address lines up. And it did. It was literally like a corner of a building in Times Square, like the biggest one there. And we're like, this is legit. Wow. So we're like, yes, we will have it. And then the next night when it went live, we were actually at an event, so we couldn't see it the first night. So we were like sitting there, we're like, it's going live right now. We can't see it. It was like killing us, but we were like at this event. And it was going live for a few days. We were like, we'll go tomorrow, it's fine. And then so their whole branding's pink. So they're like, oh, they had like lash therapy jumpers and trackies and everything. And we all wanted photos together, and I didn't have any. And they were like, oh, we've got an extra jumper. And I spent all day trying to find pink pants. It was so hard. I ended up finding some, but they were so ugly. Like, after we took photos, I put them in the bin. I was like, I don't need to put that in my luggage. It's too much space. But yeah, then we were like, I was so nervous, like going to see the billboard, because like this is something I've wanted my whole life. And like, I didn't actually think I would achieve in my life. I've always wanted a billboard, but I never thought overseas I would get one. I feel like with my app and everything, like I had the idea and I was like, oh yeah, like I'll get it one day, like project, I'm paying for it, all that. But this one, like I never actually thought I would get it. That's why it was like really emotional for me. So like walking, and I was like getting so nervous, and then everyone in Times Square is like, are you guys famous? Why are you all dressed the same? We're like, no, we're just going to see a billboard. Everyone was like, I think someone even asked to get a photo with us. They're just like, why are you dressed like that? And then we're all just like watching and waiting, like counting down for it to go live. And then it went up, and then I cried. And then we just like, I think we stayed there for like an hour and a half just getting photos in front of it. So we're like, this isn't going to happen again. Let's just get heaps of content. And then we just like stared at it for a bit and just like took it in. And then we went back like the next night as well to just like watch it. But yeah, it was a really, really nice experience.
That's awesome. That's so cool.
So obviously with all the photos and content you're always doing, you're always posting, right?
I know, every time you're like transitioning into another topic.
I just sit here in silence. I'm like, how do I transition into the next thing? No. So, why have you done that to me? You can't pull me out. You ruined my transition.
I won't say
it was
anything.
seamless, and now it's just hard.
I won't say anything next
Okay,
time.
so basically you do post a lot.
Yes.
And you have now amounted to 1.2 million followers on TikTok.
Yes.
Tell me your secrets
My
to
secrets.
posting and gaining a following of 1.2. That is super impressive, especially in the creative industry. Very easy in the modeling industry, the influence industry, but very hard in the creative industry. So I'm actually like super impressed with what you've been able to achieve.
I haven't really thought of it like that.
Yeah.
So TikTok, I started, I think it was just like the start of 2020. It was like right before lockdowns were a thing. One of my friends, I used to talk a lot of shit about TikTok. I was just like, oh, it's going to die like Vine. No one's going to get on it, blah, blah, blah. And then it was like someone I knew. She was a busker. She posted one video. It got 200 million views. Completely changed her life. Wow. And then I was like, if that can happen to her, it can happen to me. I'm getting on it. So I made an account, and then like the first video got 1,200 views. And I feel like the first one always does well because they try to get you hooked, and it worked. So I was like, I was like, okay, this is how I'm going to get famous. And I went to a psychic actually a few years before, and like she told me like all these things, and she said like, I think it was that year, she was like, it's going to be bigger than you can ever imagine. You don't know what's coming. And she said that to me, and I always just had it in my head, like, I'm not going to like mess with it, but something needs to change, because obviously what I'm doing right now isn't going to be like this big thing. Something else needs to happen. So when I like heard a TikTok and how I was changing people's lives, I was like, maybe that's it. Like, I'm going to give it a go. So I made an account, and I wasn't very like, had like a structure of like how many times I was posting or anything. I was just like playing around with it at the time. Like I look back on the videos and I'm like, oh, they look so bad. But like I had a lot of content from my photo shoots because I'm always doing behind the scenes, and I had lots of overseas stuff. That was the stuff that like picked up first. Obviously, because not everyone's been to the Maldives, so all my Maldives content was like blowing up. I think my first video that went off, I think I only got like 10,000 views, but I was just like so excited. I was like, Mom, it's starting. Like, I'm going to be famous.
Yeah, 10,000 is a lot.
Yeah. And that was like my first one. And then, I just kept posting every single day. I think I hit 100K in my first year of starting.
That's good.
And then since then, I was just like, I want 1 million. That was my goal. It's been my goal for the last few years. And I was just like, I want it. Like, it didn't really have like it would like give me anything. It was just something I wanted, maybe like an ego thing. I don't know. I was like, I just want it. Like, it's just cool. So, since then I've posted like every single day for like the last few years. And I went through waves of how much I was posting. I was like, at one point, I think I was posting 3 or 4 times a day. Now I post twice a day, but now I've got 2 accounts. So 4 times a day really. Because I've got one for my weddings and one for my Retouching photography, because I've seen how well it's done for my business. I was like, why not separate them so like...
Oh, so it has brought in more business?
Yeah, definitely. I only started my Forever Begins Now one at the start of this year. I took a screenshot. I had like 11 followers or something, like January 1st. I'm about to hit, I think, 75,000 at the moment.
So would you say for any creatives that are beginning in this industry, especially like that are amateurs, it's like if they were to hammer down on TikTok and all social medias, it's like, would that get them out of the small ticket clients to high ticket clients, or does it not affect it that much?
I feel like just growing your brand in general will probably help to, I don't know about helping with like higher ticket kind of clients, but it does put you in front of them though, because like a lot of brands, they wouldn't know who you are, and then they're seeing you on their For You page, because it's not who they're following, it's the For You page.
Correct.
So like there's big influencers that I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe, like Anna Paul follows me. Like all my friends are like, oh my God, Anna Paul follows you. It looks like you don't know who that is.
I don't know who that is. Who is that?
She's a big influencer on like TikTok and stuff.
Okay.
But I didn't know who she was at the time. But then my friend's like, oh my God, she follows you. And it's just examples like that where it's like big people, like I could come up on like Justin Bieber's TikTok For You page just because like he doesn't have to follow me. It could just come up. Like the reach is crazy. So you can definitely get like big clients that way. If that answers the question.
That does. That's so cool though. It's like, it's just amazing, honestly. It's just astounding how you've been able to like achieve like such great results through social media. And like with your weddings, because obviously you've dived into weddings. Have you always done weddings or is this recently new? No,
I've done it like over the years, but it would just be like some here and there because it obviously wasn't my like area. I would mainly do like model stuff. But I think it's been the last like year or two where I've really like started to fall in love with it. Like I really enjoy being a part of someone's special day and like the vibes are high. Like everyone's just on a high when it's their wedding day and even their engagements. So I really like that. So I can see myself going more in that direction, like steering away from what I currently do, like down the track. Like I'm definitely doing more of it now. But it's like I'm tying my like current knowledge, even like my editorial stuff in with that. Like people love my wedding work and my engagements because they can see that I have like that fashion editorial side to it. Like it's not just traditional kind of stuff. You know what I mean? And like I know how to pose people because I work with models.
That's what I was going to say.
Yeah.
Like honestly, like you hold such an advantage over like regular wedding photographers for that exact reason. That'll separate you. And it's just like, it's like you just have such crazy talent because of that. It's just...
And that is one of the things that... we've realised on shoots is that a lot of people feel awkward to direct clients or the subject in the photo. But it's good, if you've got that and you're really keen to do it as well on a set, it makes the client comfortable as well, and then the end result is just amazing. Yeah,
they need it. Like I've been in front of a camera before and I freak out, and like I direct people for a living, and I'm just like, what do I do now? Like you just freeze in front of the camera. So like I understand 100%. That people need direction.
Totally agree with that. Like even now sitting in front of the camera, I feel awkward.
Okay, so once you've done all your photo shoots and you come into the editing process, right? Where now you do a lot of retouching. How time consuming is that for you?
Well, it used to be very time consuming. Like I was working till like even 9 p.m. at night, like every single night. I didn't take days off. Like before lockdown did, as much as we hated it, like I learnt a lot and was able to like, take a step back and work-life balance and everything. But like before that, I didn't take like a day off. I would work through summer. I'd take Christmas off. That was about it. Like I would work New Year's Eve, like everything. And also like now that I have a partner too, like I want to spend time with him. So that's also like played a part in it as well. But yeah, I was working ridiculous hours. I would start at 6 a.m. and go till 9 p.m. every single day. Wow. But that was also because it was a one-man show. Like I was doing it all by myself. And that's been a big step, not only like letting go of like control of it, but like understanding that other people can do it just as good as you. I feel like that's a big thing for like creatives and just everyone. So I started with just hiring another editor because like I made sure that it was to my standard, and as long as like it's matching what my current work looks like, there's no issue with having someone else do it. Like I'm still doing the filters, like it's still my signature thing. I'm taking the photos. I'm just having someone helping me with the editing side. And like we heard earlier, I hate sitting at a desk all day, so I didn't like doing it. I hated editing. So yeah, I was doing that. But as you would know now, AI is a big thing, and I do utilize that to my advantage with like software that just minimizes the time so much. I still have a girl that works for me, but obviously like it's going to need a human touch still. You can't do it 100% with the AI. So I've like bought the AI programs, she'll use it, and then she'll finish off the editing, and then that's where I'll come in and do filters and stuff.
Can we ask what program you're using?
Retouch for me.
Nice.
Do you know how many clients have sent us your images to be like, can you do this?
Really?
Yes. It happens so much.
Like for editing or like the photo?
The editing perspective.
The editing really? As well as the type of shots. And we're just like, we're not Rachel. It's like we're not. We know we're not. It's just like that's why we're a creative agency. It's like we hire these people because these people do that. It's like we don't do that. I don't do that. And like it's infuriating to me when people are like, can I do photography? I don't do photography. I'm a videographer.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like you have such a standard that is so hard to reach, which is good because that really shows like how good you are. You know what I mean? But with everything that you've done, do you have future goals?
I always have future goals. I'm
so worried because I know this businesswoman here. She's gonna have every goal under the sun. Yeah.
Actually, I just switched accountants, and he was like, "Oh, you'll probably start another 5 businesses in the time we're together." I'm like, "Yeah, you know me well already." I'm a big goal setter. Like at the end of the year, I love setting goals because like just achieving them, like it just ignites something in me. So this year, what were my goals? I think hitting 1 mil on TikTok was one, which I got in March. And that was crazy because I started the year at like 600K and there was just like a big jump. My content really took off at the start of the year. I wanted to do a half marathon, which I will complete this weekend if nothing goes wrong. Yeah, half marathon on Sunday. And then overcoming, or not like fully overcoming, but just like helping with my anxiety, because like that was a big part with like my business. And it was really like having an impact on how I saw my job as well. Like I was starting to like not resent it, but like I wasn't loving it as much because I was like associating that feeling with it. And I can talk a bit about like what I've been doing with that.
Go nuts.
So I spoke to someone about it, like a psychologist, which has helped like even just like breaking down like how I think about things. But also things like cold showers, like hate to do it, but like once you do it, it's kind of like I've already accomplished something for the day, and it's like I didn't want to do it and I made myself do it. Like even breathing is such a big thing, just like making sure you stop and like breathe. Meditation, journaling, like I know they're all things like I used to hear, and I'm just like, oh yeah, what can like writing on a piece of paper do? But actually,
it all sounds so basic.
It does help so much. Like before, I would say, especially when I was trying to do everything by myself, so there was a lot for me to do. I'd say I was anxious every single day, and I would cry maybe 5 times a week. Like it was like.
Do you cry that much?
I did.
Oh, okay.
It was full on. But now, like.
But why? Just because of anxiety?
Yeah, like I want, like if someone says like, oh, can you just re-edit this? Like it's not even bad, but I'll just like take it so personal where I'll just like, oh my God, like they hate me, like they hate my work, this is going to ruin my business. Like I just take it to the extreme.
Oh.
And like,
No, imagine feeling like that deeply about like things that obviously people wouldn't overthink.
That's like a big overthinker. Yeah, even just like the little things. But yeah, it's been like so good because like now that I have like all these tools to help manage it, like I'll go months where I don't feel like that, and then it comes up and I'm just like, whoa, I haven't felt that in so long. Like it's really like that's when you realize, and I'm just like really proud of myself for being able to like, so I'm always having work goals. So for me to have like the running one and that is like even just really big for me for like this year.
Did this running marathon come out of nowhere, or did you have a history with running, or?
No, like I liked running in school. I did 800 meters, but I liked it because I was good at it, but like I would always feel like I was dying after it. Like I hated the feeling.
It doesn't even feel like that.
Yeah, but my partner's actually an ultra marathon runner, so he's done like 100-kilometer runs.
100-kilometer runs?
Yeah, he's a bit crazy.
That is insane.
So when I have someone like that to look up to, and like even the events, I would just think they're all guys, you know, but I would go there to support him, and there was girls doing these runs.
Oh, some girls are unbelievable.
And I was just like, that's where it really like clicked. I was like, if I wanted to, like I could do that. Like, I'm not gonna, but I could. Like that's crazy. And then I think just going to a few of his events, like then I started thinking about it, and it was last year where I actually did my first running event. I did the 5-kilometer Nike event. It was like this time last year, and my sister convinced me to sign up, and then she didn't sign up with me. Like I paid for it, and then she's like, oh, actually, I'm not going to take the day off work. I was like, I just signed up for this run, and we were going to walk it together, because I was like, there's no way I could run 5 kilometers. That's ridiculous. And then my partner was like, Rachel, you have to run it. You can't walk it by yourself. That's embarrassing. Come on. Yeah. He was like, I'll train you. So like for a few weeks, he was just like training me and stuff. And then I got to 5K, and then like I just got addicted to it. After that, I was like, okay, what's the next one? So then I did a 10K event. And it was crazy because like once I learned like the breathing technique and how to like running on my toes and and all of that, like I finished my 10K event not puffed. I could like have a phone call, like I was fine, like I could have kept going if I needed to. And then I did a month or two after that I did a 16-kilometer event, and then like going into this year I was gonna like stop there, but then I was like I still felt good after the 16. I was like I could keep going, so then I wanted to challenge myself. I was like I'm gonna do half marathon, so that's 21.1 for this year, and I've been training for like 6 months now, and the distance hasn't been the hardest bit. It's been like the recovery and making sure I'm eating enough, because I'm not a big eater, but like I have to make sure that I'm eating enough, because like I would just like my energy's just been like going down, and then one of the biggest ones is like I've been getting like tight in my legs, so like my knees have been like so sore, and my shins, so I've been getting like needling done, saunas, ice baths. That's hard.
Which part, the sauna or the ice bath?
The ice bath. The sauna's easy. I can do that every day. Ice bath. We went in one the other day. It was 8 degrees, and my foot was like cramping. Like I was in so much pain.
It was 8 degrees?
Yeah.
That's not even ice.
Yeah, okay. Well, have you been in an 8 degrees one?
Yes, I have.
Oh, it was so cold. Yeah, it didn't look like ice, but it was a cold plunge. Anyway, it was really cold.
Yeah.
I only went up to my hips. I couldn't go all the way up.
Yeah, when it hits your chest, that's when like you really start to freak out.
Yeah, so
like,
I'll do that one day. But
when it gets to your chest, it just feels like it's sucking the life out of you.
Yeah, I thought if
you're making me not want to do it.
I felt like
don't do it.
I was like losing control of my body. Like when I went up to here, like I felt like I was like I couldn't get out. Like I could use my arms because they weren't in there, but I couldn't move my legs. I was
did you feel like your feet and your legs start cramping?
Yeah.
Almost? Yeah.
Yeah, so I was like, if I went up to here, like, I'm probably going to drown. How am I going to get out? And I was just thinking of the Titanic and like how cold that would have been.
As long as your mouth is out of the water, you're fine.
Some other guy, he just dived in there. And I was just like,
Dive?
Yes, he dived into the pool.
I've been doing it for a while, and for me, it's when like there's two main points of the water contacting your skin where it's like, so from the feet up to about the chest, it's okay. Once it hits your neck here, that's when you really start to feel like you're almost suffocating. But if it hits you at the top of the head or anywhere above the face, it's just like the biggest shock to the body. It's absolutely unbelievable. It's crazy.
You want to give it a go?
I actually did. I've been trying to tee it up with some friends, and they're like, yeah, I've done it. I'm like, cool. And now you guys are making me like real unsure about it.
It's only you're only in there for like a minute.
How do you do that? You just step in, you're like, oh no.
And it's better to not step in. It's better to have someone push you in.
Yeah.
What?
Because like that's when like mentally you'll like talk yourself out of it. Cause
I won't talk myself out of it. I'm not that kind of person.
I put my foot in it, and that's when I was just like, no, I'm not doing it. And then I went back in the
You have to
pool.
go all in at once.
Yeah.
You can't slowly dip yourself in.
I'll be honest, I'm a bitch with cold water. Like I won't even go into the, you've seen me, I won't go into the ocean, bro. Like I won't do it. Like I don't like cold water.
No, that was me as well before, but it's just like the mental side, like you feel like you've accomplished something once you've done it. Like it's good.
So you've been doing cold showers in the mornings as well?
Yeah. Yep, in the morning, just for 1 minute.
No, it's great. And like you start to feel health benefits from it too, not just the mental thing.
Yeah.
Like, for me, I was feeling like my immune system was getting stronger as well. And like being prone to weather changes, I was easily adaptable.
Yeah, I feel like I don't feel the cold as much. Like when I went to New York, like everyone was saying like, oh, it's going to be so cold. But I was like I'd look at the temperature, I'm like, I feel like I should be feeling this more. And I was like, I think the cold showers, I was doing, cold at the beach and stuff as well at the time, like going up to there at the beach.
Oh, nice.
I think that would, I don't know how cold the beach is, but it felt cold.
It would definitely be cold.
Yeah.
So what is your next project currently? Like, what do you have on the books here? Like, not here, like as in like right after this. I know you've got a shoot already because you're so busy.
I've been really trying to like just focus on one goal at a time, to be honest. So once this half marathon's done, then I can really like go into something else. Like even this week, I'm like trying not overdo it with like even just making content and stuff. Just get through the week, do my run, because that's like a big goal of this year. Like tick it off, and then I can go on to the next thing.
When's the run happening?
It's on Sunday, 8 a.m. It's the Nike one, so it's like around the city.
Oh, okay.
Come watch me. But yeah, so after that, I've been really trying to grow my wedding business. That's a big thing at the moment.
How are you finding it?
good. TikTok's definitely helped. So
Yeah.
I did one engagement shoot last year, and then ever since, like, because that one got like 3 million views, and it just went off.
Nice.
And now I'm booked every weekend until mid-March.
Wow.
So I'm bringing.
How do you like? Sorry to cut you off. It's like, how do you manage all this? Like with all the studio, like all the weddings, everything. Like, obviously you must just be flat packed. Like, where is your downtime? Like, and don't say night. That's just wrong.
No. I've been, like, when I was going to the psychologist, she would help me, like, picking times in the week, like having more of a structure. Because before I was just doing every single day. So now on Mondays is like a catch-up day, and if I need to, I can have a shoot in the afternoon. Wednesdays are my errands days, so, like, again, catching up, emails if I have wedding client calls, all of that. And then Sundays, completely day off.
No, that's good.
Don't talk to me on a Sunday.
Yeah.
Not
Except unless you're going for a run.
Yeah. Yes, I'll be doing a run, or like at my dad's farm playing with lambs or something. That's what I'll be doing on a
your dad's
Sunday.
farm?
Where is it?
Yeah, like how
In
far
the
is it
Yarra
from Melbourne?
Valley.
Oh, cool.
Like an hour.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
I've always wanted to have a farm. I just think it's really cool.
Yeah, that's my goal. Like, after, like, I'm really, like, you know, hustling everything now, but when I want to settle down and have a family, I'd like to, like, go back to the farm life, because I loved that growing up, and it was just because for work it made more sense moving here. But I feel like I'll always be a farm girl at heart. Like, I'd love to go back and raise my kids with chickens. I loved chickens.
You love chicken so much.
I
Did you
painted
name them? What were their names?
Oh yeah.
Painted their toenails.
Yes, I've got photos. I told you I did photo shoots on them. I had baby chickens.
Oh, we didn't know you dressed them up.
I didn't dress them, but I had them in Barbie castles. And I did, I would paint their toenails. They all had names.
What were their names?
I had like Rapunzel.
I knew they were going to be Disney.
Princess names.
Knew it.
I was a kid.
Yeah, of
My
course.
sister called her Schnitzel.
Because she was going to eat it.
No, we never ate our chickens, but it's just that's just my sister.
That's cute.
But they all had names, and I could tell them all apart. And my parents would
Really?
always freak out. They're like, "How do you know which that one is?" I'm like, "That one's because of the white around its neck."
Nice.
My parents always say
True
that I was.
farm girl.
Yeah, we never had a babysitter. They would just put us in like the chicken coop, but it was a big coop.
Wait, what?
No, I'm telling you, it was like this room and that room is like the chicken coop. It was big, but like I would
So when the parents went out, they just put you in a chicken
not
coop?
out. They were always at the farm. They worked on the farm 24/7.
Okay.
That's where I get this from, working
Yeah.
24/7. They were always there, but like I just like play with the chickens all day.
Nice.
Adorable. With your studio setup, tell me a bit about like your lighting setups and like your thought process that goes into doing your work here, because like it is super impressive, and no one really ever sees behind the scenes. They always see the finished product.
Yeah.
So I'm just curious. Tell me.
A lot of people are shocked with my light setup. So I just use one light. Whenever I tell people that, they're like, "What? Only one?" I'm like, "Yeah, it's expensive." So I just have one pro photo light, and I usually have it like off to the side. And then just depending on the look I'm going for, I'll just like move it around, as you would know. Like if I want it more on the side, have more dramatic kind of look with more contrast. Can have it front on, have the person really close, have the background light grey, play around with it. But then I also have this room, so I can do like natural light here, or even the backlight. I have a lot of shots where people are standing in front of the curtains and then just shoot like that. That's like the setup. I just like go between here and in the backdrop room.
What kind of shots do you get with people standing in front of the curtain?
I do a bit of everything, but it gives more like a soft look. A lot of maternity stuff is really nice in here that I'll do, just like a soft kind of glow kind of thing. And
You really do everything.
I do everything, yeah. Except nightclubs. I won't do nightclubs.
Yeah.
Why?
Because
They pay awful, but yeah, why?
like I'm in bed, no joke, by 8:30
okay.
every night. I'm not
Yeah.
starting work at like 11:30. You couldn't pay me to do it.
Yeah, all right. I know.
Yeah, we agree. Nightclubs are no good.
Yeah.
I love going to bed early. And I'm a morning person. Like I'll go to bed early, wake up early.
What time are you waking up?
At the moment, like 6, but like it varies. Like body clock, that's just with no alarm.
Yeah.
My partner gets up at 4 to start work. Yeah, I just like I would prefer to start at 4 than like at night.
Yeah, 100%. You feel like the day's longer and you get a lot more done.
Yeah, and I like just like, it's kind of like a competitive side, beating the sun up. It's like, yeah,
competing with the sun?
I'm up before you.
She just looks outside, goes, beat you.
Feels like that sometimes.
So what happens if you wake up after the sun? Do you go back to bed?
You're like,
No,
I'll wait till you're down
I'll be honest. Like I do feel like I haven't accomplished as much if the sun's already up. It's true.
Wow.
Like
Yeah.
I think it goes back to my childhood where like farming, you're up with the sun. So if you're up after it, it's lazy. Like my dad would be like, "Why are you not up? It's 6 when you go start work." Like it's lazy if you're not up with the sun. So I feel like there's a lot with like my childhood and like the farming life that's like still in me now, and that's a big part.
Yeah, I would love to, as we get to know you a little bit more, to find out how that farming life has like molded you into what you are now.
Yeah, my parents were both like ran the farm together. They're not together now, but like when they were, and like all like the business side and everything, like I've learned all of that from them because they were always working 24/7, and they would get us like in the shed, like working with them. And like when I was little, I didn't care about money, so you couldn't like make me excited about working. But I love Beanie Kids, so I would get paid hourly with Beanie Kids.
For what?
Like they'd be like, "Oh, if you work today, then like we'll go buy you a few Beanie Kids."
Oh, Beanie Kids.
Yeah, Beanie Kids.
I thought you said you were beating kids.
No, Beanie Kids.
I was so concerned.
I heard as well. I was like,
I was literally trying. I was like, what is she actually trying to say? I was like, there's no way.
I thought you had like a competition of like beating kids and something else.
Yeah, I was
The
waiting.
competitive side.
And then you said it the second time. I was like, was she actually beating kids?
No, Beanie Kids.
Beanie Kids were
Okay.
awesome. Which is your favorite?
Oh no, I had over 100. Like I had
Yeah,
lots
yeah.
of them, and
And you don't remember your favorite? I had like a
Yeah,
fox.
no,
I had
no.
like a little hoodie. It was a fox.
Oh no, I hate foxes because they kill
Oh,
my chickens.
Yeah, yeah.
I hate
Yeah,
foxes.
they're not welcome on the
Like
farm.
I still see them, and I'm just like. Anyways, I remember I had one called Shiver, and I loved that one. Again, yeah, it had the thing that would come out. It was kind of like an Eskimo.
Yeah,
That was my favorite one. I would like sleep with it.
it's so cute. Did you have Beanie Kids?
No, we're too poor for that.
It's a teddy bear, bro. It was like this big.
No, my parents were very against.
Toys.
Yeah.
Against
No,
a
I'm kidding.
cuddly bear.
No, I'm kidding. I don't know. We just,
Didn't do that.
yeah, we didn't get anything mainstream. It was just like
Yeah.
whatever just came up. It was better.
But
if
you
it was-
did Yu-Gi-Oh cards.
It was better if it
Yu-Gi-Oh
was-
cards, but no Beanie
I
Kids.
didn't do Yu-Gi-Oh cards.
Oh, I thought you did Yu-Gi-Oh cards.
No, I did Pokemon cards.
Oh,
Whatever came out of a chip packet, the Smith's chip packets.
I don't even know.
Yeah,
Oh,
'cause we used to have a milk bar when I was a kid.
oh, that's so cool.
So like every time, I think Smiths used to have like AFL footy cards as well.
Yeah, they used to do
In-
like
in the chip
Tarzos. They
packets.
did everything back then.
I can't remember where the Pokemon cards came from, but I had a whole collection of footy cards and Pokemon cards. Yeah.
You were
Pokemon
like,
cards. Collecting
I didn't have
Pokemon cards
cards.
is really fun.
I had like littlest pet shops.
What's that?
I was a girl. We had like the little pets, and you get like heaps of them.
Yeah.
You know
Yeah.
them? Yeah.
I know them.
I don't
Or,
know.
you know, Bratz dolls and stuff.
Yeah.
I remember, like-
She had definitely had all of them.
I remember like K-Zone. Did you have
That
like...
rings a bell.
Yeah, because it was like a kids magazine, a boys'
Yeah,
kids
yeah.
magazine.
Oh,
I don't know what was like. What was the girls'
yes.
version of that?
I know it, but I just can't think of the name.
Yeah, I can't believe you remember the name. That literally just took me so far
That's because
back.
I recently went through all my childhood stuff. Like I still have it, and I was like going through it all. I was like, oh no way, I still have this.
Yeah.
I was like, I still have like Thomas the Tank Engine sets, Hot Wheel cars.
Wow.
I have,
Mine
yeah,
were all destroyed.
yeah, no, I have like Tarzos. I have everything, like everything that was from a childhood. I just kept it in a box.
Like me and my brother were too aggressive. We really broke everything.
So yeah, what about you and your sister? I don't know. I don't know. I asked. I was like,
Special mention to Carly. So I have a little sister. She's not really a little anymore. 2.5 years difference, but she's taller than me and only like a little bit. But like everyone thinks we're twins. I think it's the hair because our hair is the same. But like if we go to like a restaurant or something, everyone's just like, why is there two of you? Like, so we don't see it, but I get it with the hair, especially like from behind. And then we accidentally dress the same a lot of the time, so that doesn't help. Like jeans and a black top, you know. So yeah, and then she's got the business side in her too. She's 22 now, and she's just started a tiny home. Like built
oh
it
no way,
herself.
that's so cool.
Yeah, so
Oh.
she built it herself, and yeah, put it on like Airbnb and stuff. So
Oh.
that's cool. She studied like exercise and sports science. She's more of a tomboy, So she went like, you know, loves AFL, went more down that route kind of thing. But she still doesn't really know what she wants to do.
Well, she's still young.
Yeah. Yeah, but she knows, she really likes the tiny home stuff. So I think she's talking about like making more.
Yeah, beautiful.
And doing that.
Yeah, they're great. People love those. Is she doing it out in the Yarra Valley?
Yeah, so she still lives on the farm. She's,
That's
big
awesome.
farm girl. She has a tractor, like everything. She has a farm TikTok.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's so cool.
Yeah, she's got into TikTok recently. She's like, Rachel, how do I make videos? Yeah.
So cool.
Well, look, I really appreciate having you on the podcast. You're an amazing human being. You've achieved so much. And honestly, I hope we get to have you back on in maybe a year or so.
Yeah.
That's so cool. That's so fun, man.
See what
Okay, well, maybe sooner. If you start a business sooner and it does well, we'll get you on a lot quicker.
I'll come on again. Cool.
Awesome.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you, Rachel.
Yeah, and anyone who's listening, if you want to keep listening, keep doing it.
Just put the video on replay.
Yep,
Yeah.
that's it.